Hey, welcome and welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about doing some market research, and we're going to be looking at industry data. We're going to do this a little differently. So the last section that we're going to do in this group of videos is actually going to look just at market data. We're going to be looking at industry data as a market source, as a market data resource. So let's try this for a few minutes. I think you'll find it to be really fun to do. So what I want to do is I want to be able to go find an industry and then find people who actually work in that industry, whether they're located in North Carolina or New Jersey, whether they're located in the entire United States, whatever. I want to be able to make a list. And the topic that I want to look at is I want to look at surgical manufacturers, so people who make surgical, companies that make surgical equipment. So they're surgical manufacturers of medical equipment, medical supplies, and so forth. So that's the piece that I'm up to today. And I think you'll have a good time doing this. So if you're job searching, this is also a great thing to be able to do. If you're working as an intern at a company, this is a great skill set to take along with you. So if you're ready, let's give this a try. So I'm at the library homepage, www.highpoint.edu/library, as we've said before. You could also be doing this off of the library research guide, whatever works well for you. But again, I can click on databases A to Z or view all. Click on view all this time. And the resource we want to use is something called Reference USA. And I'm just going to type in USA because it's going to take me right there. Please keep in mind I could have typed in business and simply gone down the list. So I'm going to click on this one. And on this screen, what you get to see are all these wonderful categories. So here are the businesses in the United States, about 59 million of them. Here's old business records, so companies that have gone bust. Down here is U.S. lifestyles. So if you're really interested in marketing, you need to go in and play with this one. It's great fun. And then I can go in and do these other areas as well. I play with the U.S. jobs and internship link a lot. And keep in mind that those jobs and internship links all show up in these U.S. business records. So when I find companies, I get to see that. Or I can just go in and search that. So you do whatever works well for you. Okay, so I want to go in and find companies within a certain area. So I'm going to click on U.S. businesses. So I can go in here anytime I want to, and I can put in the name of a company. So I can put in the name of Boeing or Chick-fil-A or Geico or whatever. But the company that one of my professors told me to use was Becton Dickinson. So I'm going to type that in real quick, if you don't mind. Okay, and when I go in and actually type in this company, I can do a search for it and view the results. Now, if I was just looking for the company, well, I'm sort of there. There's 26 results for this, and each one of these is a piece of that company. Now, remember, we talked about this in other videos, but there are subsidiaries of companies, these up arrows, and then there's the main company, and it has this little down arrow to go with it. Or I can simply click the up arrow key of whatever part of the company, and it takes me up to the top. Now I've got a down arrow key to go with it, so I know I'm looking at the main company. So let's go in and take a look at this company for just a second. I'm going to click on the company name, and on the next screen what I get to see is all this information about who the company is, all this data about the company here, right? Business profile, numbers of employees, public or private company, right? All that's included in here. And then also the names of all the people in the company. Whether they're males or females, that's really good to be able to know as far as addressing them is concerned, what's proper. And then all this other number and so forth to go along with it. Okay, great stuff. But now remember, I know about this company. The thing I want to know is there other companies that do the same thing. So I'm going to take a look at that for a minute. So I'm going to go back up here where this where this industry information is actually listed. So keep this in mind for just a minute. Before we talked about this, so we talked about how NAICS codes were codes that are assigned by the U.S. government to describe industry groups. So in this case, surgical and medical instrument manufacturing. So I want to see all the companies that fall into this group. So to do that, all I need to know is this number, 339-11203. So I'm going to use that number to be able to do a further search. So I'm going to jot that down or whatever helps me to remember that so I can actually go and do that search. So you ready to give this a try? It's really quite easy. So I'm going to go to the top of the page and I'm going to do a new search. I'm going to click over here and do an advanced search. And under the advanced search, I'm going to make some choices up and down the side here. Now I want you to keep in mind that you can try other things other than what I'm talking about. But the thing I'm going to show you how to do right now is just to get to that one industry and the group of companies that make it up. So I'm going to go over here to keyword and NAICS codes, right, because that's that NAICS. And I want to just search the NAICS codes. Primary sounds good, because as you saw, companies can have lots of these codes, but there's only one that's their leading code. So I'm going to type that in. Now remember, I jotted this down so I can remember, but it was 33911. And you'll notice down at the bottom, the numbers start showing up. Right? And if you want to, you can actually get rid of a number and look what you get to see. Scientific instrument designers, manufacturers. Thermometer manufacturers. Surgeon equipment supplies and manufacturers. So not only do you get to see the group that I want to see, which is this one, you can go back, simply look at those other groups as well. It's really quite exciting. So I'm going to click on this group and make it a part of my search. So it's been selected. Now anytime I want, I can go up here on the side and say, if I click on view results, how many companies will I see? But if I simply click on this little count thing, it'll tell me. There's 3,418 companies in the United States that actually are physician and surgery equipment suppliers and manufacturers. Perfect. I'm doing market research. But I want to narrow this focus a little bit. So there's a couple things to keep in mind. One of the things that I would like to do is I really probably want to just see the headquarters for the company. For Becton Dickinson, I don't necessarily want to go to one of their factories or maybe to one of their financial firms. I want to go to the headquarters of the company. So if I go down here under ownership, I can choose headquarters. So I'm going to choose headquarters just to start this off. If I want to, I can do subsidiary as well, but I'm going to start with headquarters. And I'm going to update my count. And I end up with 123 companies. So guys, there's 123 companies within this code, physician, surgeons, equipment, and supplies and manufacturing in the United States. And I can simply sit and look at all of them. That's all I have to do. If I had a different number, I could put a different number in there and do this same search over again. If I wanted to, I could look at just where they're based. Maybe I want to limit it to a state like North Carolina or New Jersey or 5 or 6 states around me. I also might like to look at this by company size. So I could look at sales volume. So I just want to see the really large companies. So over $1 billion in sales. Update my count. So there's only 8. Maybe I'd like to get rid of that. Maybe I'd like to look at just the largest of those companies. So more than 10,000 employees each. Update my count. There's 6. Okay? So I'm learning stuff about this industry because I can see how large the companies are and how small the companies are within this group. I'm going to go back to my headquarters because 123, that sounds great. I'd like to go ahead and take a look at those. To do that, all I have to do is just click on View Results. And on the next screen, what I get to see is a list of, yep, all those companies. It's really quite that easy. Anytime I want to, I can click on these headers and it'll alphabetize them, show them to me by city, state, zip code, whatever I would like to take a look at. And just as I told you earlier, one of the things that I can do is once I get all these companies listed out, I can scoot down the screen and go, oh, yeah, this one's great. This one's in Georgia. I'm going to go in and take a look at that company. And it pops up the display and screen to go along with it. I can read a little bit more about that company, see if that's a company that I'm interested in talking to or looking at or selling my product to or whatever. So I can go down here. Here's Bio-Rad Laboratories. I can go in and look at that one. This one actually has some jobs listings shown up, and you'll see these as little Indeed job listing pieces within the company information. Going to go back a screen. Anytime I want to, I can download these as well. Checkbox. Click download. I'm going to do this as common to limited. Summary's fine. If you do detail, you get everything, and it's marvelous. It's a ton of data. But we'll just do summary for now. I can click on download those records. Click on the next link, and there's a list of all my companies. I can share these anytime I would like to. Yeah, I'll accept that license. I can share those anytime I would like to, and the thing that it'll do for me is I can keep a hold of that big company list. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I want you to go in and do a list of your own. Maybe go in and play with it. Maybe just look at it within your state or certain area. If you're doing this for job listings, if you're doing this for internship selection, of course, working for someone with career services or coming and working with us at the library, and we can help you build a list like this. Thank you, and I hope I'll see you at the next video.